Their solar panels could not light the way
Oh, dear God.
to to the final
I need more
pour.
beer. Welcome to the Charlotte Buzz, where we drink beer from local breweries while telling stories about the neighborhoods they're from. I'm Chrissy, this is Drew, and stick around for later on in the show when we get into the updates on the Buzz bracket and the final pour.
So today we are drinking from Wooden Robot, and this is what I'm having.
And I'm having what he's having.
But you're not having what I'm having.
True.
I mean, you will.
So let us explain.
So we have two beers from Wooden Robot, and one is named What I'm having, and that is what I'm having. And another one is called
What he's having.
And that's what she's having.
They also have one called What She's Having.
But we are
Not having
that.
What she's having. And for as much as Drew likes to make fun of me and
Going
my
on the
pouring
pants.
abilities in these podcasts, this is the first time he's had to do one since we're doing simultaneous pours here, and man, did that not go well.
I mean, I ain't even poured it yet. That's just opening it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. It's all over the table. This is me on week one. He's finally there. He understands my pain now.
But I would say, overall, not that bad.
It's all over the table. We'll set that there for now while that foam all gets down. All right, so
I guess we'll try yours first.
hopefully we've established that we have two different beers. Their names are fantabulous. So we're going to start with What He's Having is the beer. And I'm going to taste it while Drew explains it.
Yep. It is an IPA, of course. 6.7%. And it is brewed with over 3 pounds of bold American hops per barrel. This IPA combines citrus and tropical fruit notes with a silky, light body and restrained bitterness. So I guess it hits you late.
It has a very
Does it hit you late or hit you soft?
there is a late hit of what I would call a classic beer taste. And I couldn't tell you for the life of me what this actually tastes like, but I almost want to say it hit you with almost like a Budweiser type of.
God.
And that's what I mean is I don't really know what that actually tastes like. But it just hits me with a very traditional what I expect beer to taste like flavor, but not overpoweringly so, and it's only just a subtle hit at the end.
Well,
I'm gonna pass that over.
if places don't have craft beer, I'll get a Studweiser every now and then.
It tastes very good on first taste. It hits your mouth, tastes very good, and it doesn't taste bad later. But it sits there for a minute, and then I feel like it's just a very traditional beer taste for a second.
I don't know. I never get an aftertaste of things, really.
Well,
I mean, I do sometimes, but on this one particularly, I don't have an aftertaste or
it's not like an aftertaste. It's not something that lingers in your mouth. But there's just a little punch right there at the end of the flavor spectrum that to me tastes like a very traditional beer taste, and then it just washes away again.
I don't know. It'll drink for me.
Oh yeah.
I think I like the two that we drank at Wooden Robot while we were getting these.
Yeah, I have to say, I kind of hated on Wooden Robot earlier in this season.
Well, you'll see.
In the earlier episodes of this, I kind of hated on them a little bit. Not in a bad way, just didn't know what all the fuss was about, even though I had been there type of a situation. And went today to pick up these beers, and there were 2 other IPAs that while we were getting these crowlers, we said, you know what, let's try them out while we wait. And they were good.
Yeah.
They were really, really enjoyed them, and kind of took me by surprise. And I was like, oh, I'm reassessing.
That was the DDH Mosaic. Mm-hmm. Double dry hop Mosaic.
Yeah, that was good. And the other one was like juice. It had juice in the name.
They both just got released this past weekend, right?
Yep.
Ain't that what I said?
Yeah, both on Saturday. So we may have walked away with a little more beer than we anticipated.
Yeah, they have cans.
Oh, yeah.
In those 2, so.
And they were
If you
great.
want a 4-pack of cans,
It's definitely worth it.
get them.
All right, so this beer.
It's what I'm having.
Oh. Well, what are you having?
I am having a hazy session IPA.
I'm going to steal his and drink from his glass first.
4.5%. All the juicy hot flavor you crave with less of the intoxicating qualities of its big brother. This batch of what I'm having is generously dry hopped with Citra and El Dorado hops. And is loaded with notes of citrus and tropical fruits.
It's definitely like
You usually don't like the sessions.
it's not bad. The flavor is fine. It feels like it's very true to the fact where it says it's not as punchy or whatever as its big brother. It feels almost like watered down and like not thin, but like you can tell it's not as robust as a normal IPA.
Yeah, it's not as flavorful as its look would make you think.
Totally agree.
Because it is definitely very hazy.
Yes. And it's not bad. It has a fine flavor. It's a little bland almost.
Yeah.
Especially side by side with another IPA. I feel like watery has the wrong connotation, but it's just thinner.
I think that's just the style.
Yeah. I think it feels like it's less. I mean, because, most IPAs are what, 6, 7, 8%, give or take. And you said it was 4.5.
Yeah,
so
4.5.
I feel like you can feel that the minute you sip it.
Yeah.
I think I'll keep what he's having.
And I guess I have what I have. What I'm having.
Well, thankfully, we've got 2 crowlers here, so you keep chugging away. There's plenty left.
Yeah,
and you can look it up off on this table.
Yeah. Oops.
I would definitely. I need to make a real list. This would probably go like 2 or 3 in my list. And this would probably, what he's having would probably go at 2 or 3 on my list. And what I'm having would probably go.
I don't know what any of these numbers mean to you because you don't remember the prior beers.
I believe Cabarrus was at the top of mine.
I don't remember when you started remembering.
At Cabarrus and Salud.
Okay. Well, after the bracket, we're going to do an Untapped.
Because I can't do this in my head.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this is still pretty well standing on my list. And what I'm having, title, is a little lower on my list. Like, there's definitely other beers I would put in front of it.
Okay.
Whereas what he's having is something I would happily put closer to the top.
Definitely solid choices.
Mm-hmm. Yes, both good, for sure.
Both were pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about Wooden Robot.
So what I actually think was funny is all right, so the basics are Wooden Robot was opened in 2015. Opened by 2 guys who had been friends since middle school, started doing some home brewing in college, and then after some travel and working in various industries, one more focused in the brewing industry, one kind of all over the place and wasn't really into what he was doing, kind of came back together and opened their own brewery together and went for it. And clearly it's going pretty good for him.
Yeah, decent.
But what I thought was interesting with what he's having beer that I've been drinking that I said had a really good, like, that new IPA fresh flavor, and then kind of punched you with that, like, really classic beer taste, and then just sort of dissipated, as like it didn't leave a like unfortunate aftertaste or anything. But I at least felt like I kind of got these two distinct feels in it. I didn't realize until I looked back down at my notes is so in keeping with their entire theme.
Okay.
So wooden robot, in an early interview they did, the wooden robot is this kind of contradictory thought, a wooden robot. And so in this early interview, they said wooden for us represents that artisanal farmhouse Belgian tradition, and the robot represents the American innovative spirit. And so it's this like really classic beer flavors, but also the new innovation. And so what he's having and the way my flavor, like the way I tasted that, actually really hit both of those notes quite well. And I didn't think about it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then in a later interview, I thought it was fun too. They said that the wooden robot also just represents and is a reminder of not taking anything all that seriously, because to make a robot out of wood is just ridiculous. And so it's just
They did it.
Yes,
I've
they
seen
did.
it.
That's true. But it's just kind of that, let's blend together two very important but very different things, but let's not go crazy about it. Let's just enjoy. And I think they actually do it very well.
Cool.
And like I said, for someone who was a bit of a hater, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say a hater, but in the process of the bracket, I was hating on him. I was. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's true.
I have second thoughts. I'm sorry. I'm growing. I'm a human being. But yeah, so that's Wooden Robot. And we have some stories about the South End area. And then we'll get into the bracket. So what do you have for us?
Well, I think it was last week you were talking about hanging out in alleyways.
Yes,
I was
it was.
not interested.
No.
In the least bit. Can't say that I am now.
You haven't been converted?
Yeah, that hasn't changed. But I did find...
Did you spend the weekend hanging out in some alleyways trying to see where the other side is coming from?
Well, no, I will definitely knock it before I try it.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to do that. So.
Okay.
But I did find the article about the alleyway you were talking about.
Okay.
And it is located in the Gold District of South End. And it's called the Riva Finoli.
Oh,
passage.
Yeah, see, that's why I did not remember it. I was like, it's called something. It was somewhere. It was fancy.
Yeah, Riva Finoli.
Okay.
It's next to the Magnolia. Magnolia Emporium.
Yes.
And the alley goes beside Magnolia Emporium and behind Craft Growler Shop.
Oh, so we were really close to that.
Yeah, so like right around the corner from Unknown.
All right.
And Riva Finoli is an Italian dude.
What? I had no idea by that name.
Yeah.
Or at least that he was from that greater region of the world.
Well, I'll skip the little part where I'm supposed to tell you about the alleyway a little bit. It's got murals. A mural of Queen Charlotte actually is beside the entrance to it. Okay. And there's a little fountain looking thing.
Fancy.
Spits water from the wall.
The wall spits at you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can see why you don't like alleys.
It spits water into like a bird bath is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Looks like there's some seating areas. Okay. And they actually allow local businesses to get their logos painted, like either onto the wall or like into the murals.
Ooh, that's fun.
And so maybe we should look into that.
Should definitely look into that.
What we should do is get Van Gogh Creative and the Charlotte Buzz dual branded and point them to this episode.
Shabam!
Where we talk about
how awesome this alleyway is that you never want to hang out in.
I'll go see it.
You'll go take a picture of it and gram it.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to check it out, a little plug for South End. Their gallery crawl, first Friday every month, happens to be this Friday.
Hey.
When you're listening to this tomorrow, and Magnolia Emporium has events or exhibits. That's what I was looking at. They have an exhibit that they will stay open late for the gallery crawl. So you can hit the gallery crawl.
I believe there's alcohol in this process as well, right? The gallery crawls.
I'm sure you can find one. It's a Friday night, and you're going to be beside Craft Growler Shop.
Boom.
So, check out Magnolia Emporium. Check out the alley. Anyway, and after you hear this, you'll know who it's named after.
Hey, some Italian dude.
Yeah. So, Count Vincent de Riva Finoli.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he's an Italian person. Used to walk through that area every day to oversee his gold mines.
Oh.
So, to get a picture in your head about this dude, he was called a flamboyant character.
Ooh, all right.
He wore the finest clothing imported from Europe.
I'm picturing like old school Shakespearean, like big poofy hats with feathers. That's what I'm picturing when you said that.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Maybe. Yeah, long flowing robes.
See, yeah, I think he had a feathered hat, man.
And in pure Jurassic Park style.
Did he hold on to his butt?
He had a cane that had on the top had gold. Had a gold nugget.
Yes.
Had a chunk of gold from his mines on the top of his cane. So pure Jurassic Park style.
I like it. Okay.
He also had an entourage.
Naturally.
A man named Polydon Brickett was his servant, butler, and barber. And also, along with them, was a golden retriever named Augie.
Oh, I like golden retrievers. They're my favorite.
Do you know what the element for gold is?
Yes.
Or the element?
AU.
Yes. So Augie, AU.
I like it. I love it. That's fantastic. Sorry I was half killed that suspenseful moment by being a nerd and knowing things on the periodic table, but that's awesome.
So Riva Finoli was an Italian count, hence the Count Vincent.
Which my brain just went in three very distinct places so quickly.
Count Dracula.
No, that was not
Count
one
Chocula.
Yes. Count Chocula was one. It tastes like cardboard, but it's nostalgic and wonderful. It went to The Count from Sesame Street where they bleep it.
Okay.
And it went to Count of Monte Cristo, which is a freaking bomb movie, which I realize is from a book, which I've read part of, but not all of, but I assume is even more fantabulous. Okay.
So while he's talking to people, he would regularly, I can't say words.
Nope.
Regularly.
Are you sure you don't have the more intoxicating beer?
I just can't say words, really, ever. But he regularly mentions his title while he's talking to people.
I mean, he named his dog Augie.
And talks about his service with Napoleon. So, he's one of those guys you meet one day, don't know who he is, and he, tells you he was in the military.
Mm-hmm. You and I all both know how I feel about that, but good Lord, that's rough.
Good for you.
Yes, rock on. I'm glad you were in the military. I respect the heck out of people who were in the military. The minute you go out of your way to tell me you were in the military, that respect diminishes significantly. Because people who have had a significant impact or did it for the right reasons don't talk about it that way.
Well, who knows? There's just certain people that's got to tell you everything.
Sure. There's just certain things that really rub me the wrong way.
But I never tell anybody.
Right, that's what I mean. People trying to get attention, and even if they do that, oh, no, it was nothing. Not like, you've put it out there to get the attention and the recognition. Yeah,
and I think that even, go back to our first episode, you're the one who brought up I was in the military. on the podcast.
And
I
that's
didn't.
yeah, like I do that more for like, because it's the same thing as like, I think you deserve recognition, but the minute you ask for recognition, you like diminish your qualification for it. Like you're almost showing you don't deserve it the minute you ask for it. You shouldn't have to ask, it should be given. And so that's why it's like, and I know you and many people in my life like won't mention it. Mm-hmm. And like you're the kind of military people I surround myself with. Yeah. And so I want to make sure, like, not make sure, but you know, you deserve to be recognized and you do it the right way. And so, hey, you're in the military. You deserve some respect.
Yeah. Anywho.
Whatever.
Let's move on.
See, this is the whole thing. He doesn't like being recognized for it, guys. Send him some love in the comments.
So anyway. he came to Charlotte 1829, 1830 as a representative of a London mining firm.
A London mining firm.
Yes. So
he was Italian.
Service
with Napoleon. London mining firm.
Yeah, he's from all over the place. If he's from any of the places. He's a European mutt.
I mean, which I'm realistically, historically the same. Yeah. So,
but if he's from any of them, or if he's from all of the,
if he's from one of them, he's from all of them.
Yeah, I was trying to say that backwards though.
If he's from all of them, he's from one of them.
No, like if he's from any of them, then he's from all of them. Mm-hmm. That's yeah.
Okay.
So the way some of the articles that I read talked about, like they said, he claims he was an Italian count. He claims to like.
So he might have been a big old
service. BS. Yeah, his supposed service with Napoleon. So like, you know,
getting a better picture who this dude is.
Yeah, there's some contradicting things out there.
Yeah,
some are like he says or. This happened, maybe. Mm-hmm. But it's early 1800s, I mean.
But still.
Charlotte had like 3 people living in it. Napoleon was number 4. Not Napoleon. Riva.
Homie Italian Finoli. Dude. Yeah.
Riva. Oh, Cannoli was number 4.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was a representative of a London mining firm. And that was interested in investing in Charlotte's gold mines. Apparently, they were happy with his investigations, and he ended up leasing the Rudisill and the St. Catherine's mines, which are the 2 big ones in South End, or in the gold district of South End. There was another one, Bunch Hill, maybe.
I'll smile and nod at you because I have no idea.
Anyway, it was what I originally tried to look up information on, but it turns out it was the smallest.
Oh, all right.
So he leased those 2 and ended up building a large home at the corner of South Tryon and West Moorhead. Mm-hmm. Okay. Him and his large housekeeping staff ended up living there.
Supposed large housekeeping staff.
Yeah, supposed. Apparently he wasn't all talk though.
Oh.
So when he just leased these mines, he brought 80 expert miners.
Oh, hey.
And introduced many improvements to the mining industry.
Okay.
And allowed opening of mines and extraction of ores that had not been possible with earlier techniques.
Well, all right.
Yes, and that was a copied sentence from one of the articles that I've read because I don't know what any of that means.
So you don't know how to say words or what they mean.
Well,
you're on a roll, man. No,
I mean, I can't explain that any better. Like,
no, yeah, I understand.
He brought new stuff.
I understand.
And they did new things.
What?
Yeah. So
cool. So they decided to honor him in the gold district with where he wandered all the time, and
he walked through there with
make it a little artsy.
His barber butler dude, his gopher, and his dog with his robe and his cane. And so they decided to name it after him.
Cool.
Everything going well for the man. Mm-hmm. You know, Charlotte's gold's booming. So much gold in Charlotte that they said like the area there like was just like covered in gold dust.
It's really interesting because, I mean, we always hear about, going out west and going mining for gold and all this stuff. Maybe it's a north-south thing. I have no idea, but I never heard of Charlotte. Never once until I moved here did I hear about Charlotte being like a gold town. Never once.
I've brought this up before, but the 49ers.
Yeah. Our history, like the history I learned, is just solely focused on, moving out west, Oregon Trail, that whole shtick.
Yeah.
That,
I think
and I can understand that. Like, I don't think it was like, intentionally neglected.
Yeah.
It was just, we kind of focused more like, the Northeast and the Eastern Seaboard is just much more of, okay, let's do like Plymouth Rock and, the early settlement and the Declaration and all of that kind of stuff. And then Civil War. And then we leave the history of out west to be the gold stuff. We don't talk about that east side.
I think just once this got going, a recession hit, which I was going to bring up in a minute.
Sorry.
But so it kind of like, it died faster.
Okay.
It didn't live up to its potential where maybe the California Gold Rush did.
Okay.
And so many more people flocking there.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. And it seemed like this gold rush, and it's in particular, Riva Finoli's mines were very, had a lot of European immigrants. So he has been known to say that the best miners are from France and Italy, Ireland and Wales, Switzerland and Scotland, Mexico and Brazil.
Okay, first of all,
I know.
he is ravioli cannoli.
Yes. Yep, ravioli cannoli.
Okay.
Riva Finoli.
Okay. Well, it sounds like he sounds just as inclusive of all the nationalities as he is apparently all the nationalities himself.
Yeah.
He's a very inclusive guy. I can see why it's become the artsy walk.
The way I took that was everybody is good, but the people who are here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I just looked at that as sheer volume of what you were saying as opposed to the real depth of what you were saying. Ooh.
Yeah. So, like, he leaves out England, which he's from the London mining company. But he leaves them out, and he leaves Americans out. And it seems like every other country that has the capabilities of coming here is listed.
Interesting.
He's
throwing shade.
Except for maybe Spain.
Yeah.
I don't see Spain, but they had like Florida and stuff, so.
It's like, yeah, they were all out in California and all that shenanigans. I don't know the exact timeline of all that. I'm sure it's not exactly the same, but shade.
Yeah, that's kind of how I took it.
I can see that.
I saw
that.
That
might have been one of those, like, they're like, oh, you're right, and like totally like up his butt about it, and he's like, I'm dissing you and you're missing it. Very good. Well, could have been one of those things.
He says, because of this, there were about 13 languages
being spoken on his mind.
In his mind, yeah.
I mean, cool.
So, okay.
Confusing as crap, but cool.
Yeah.
But I like words and language. We've been there. I'm not going to travel that.
So everything's going well for him, though. He obviously knows what he's doing. And there's so much gold in the area that the U.S. built a mint.
Yes.
I think we've talked about that before.
Very briefly, yeah.
But that didn't last very long either. And Charlotte coins are actually very rare.
I would love to have a Charlotte coin.
Yeah, we need to track one down.
Yeah.
We did look up on the internet, and they were pretty expensive, I
Yeah.
think. But it didn't last very long because country goes into a recession, and many of the smaller mines, such as ravioli cannolis, they kind of just stop.
Yeah.
They can't do anything. It's cost too much to do stuff with their gold. They can't just be like, here's this big gold nugget.
Right. They need to actually like process it, mold it down. Like, yeah.
So yeah, the plan was to sell it to that U.S. Mint right there.
Okay.
But it didn't last as long as everybody hoped, which is why, once all that got cleared up, 1849 hits in California.
Yep.
Gold rush. So
Gotcha.
So he has no more mines. Apparently he just slips out of town unnoticed. Debts unpaid.
Oh, no.
And the sheriff ends up auctioning off the house and everything in it. So
ravioli cannoli.
He pops back up.
Oh.
In New York. And him and a business partner opened an Italian opera house. And it says that it only lasted 2 seasons.
I mean,
I don't know what seasons are. Years?
I think it varies, quite frankly.
So they probably don't do it like during the winter. Especially not back then, huh?
Probably not.
So like spring to early fall.
Maybe, yeah. It can, I think.
Is the season. So probably 2 years. We'll say 2 years. So that went downhill. Apparently in 1847, though, Riva Finoli became an honorary member of the Academy of Mineralogy of Rome.
Back to Italy. Okay.
Yeah. So apparently that's a thing.
That's a thing.
And I'm sure it was an honor for him.
Sure.
And, a lot of the techniques and stuff
Something
that he
else
brought.
to add to his bragging list.
Yeah. A lot of the techniques that he brought to the U.S. was probably taken out to California, and they were able to do things with.
You know who I picture this guy as? I'm going to be, like, really silly, but, like, also kind of serious. I don't know if he was, like, general or whatever his, like, title was, but Radcliffe from Pocahontas. He was the dude who was, like, running the ship that brought John Smith and all the white folk to dig for gold. And he's just like this really pompous, arrogant, I'm awesome. I've got some really distant, like through 16 people connection to the king. So I'm fabulous. And I'm basically a royal myself. Yeah. And where's, the big poofy everything, frou-frou out to wazoo. When really he's just like,
he's
nothing.
Dude.
Right. Like, you've got enough power and, like, you've got enough to back you that, yeah, you're running the ship. Like, got sent here to do this, but really, you're a nobody and you need a smack in the face.
All right.
That's kind of how I see this guy. Good old ravioli
I can
cannoli.
see that.
Maybe I'm just being too judgy. But the real question is, are we going to go hang out in an alleyway? Have you been converted enough?
I said I'd go look at it.
You'd go look at it, like do the drive-by?
Maybe.
Or like you'll go traipse through it and really experience an alleyway?
We'll see. No promises.
We'll report back. Check back on the YouTube and see if there's a Queen City Quest video. To an alleyway.
We'll see. Your story.
All right. So I'm going to take us a little bit further in time. Further forward in time.
Okay. So closer.
Yes.
So we're not going as far back.
Correct. We're actually being chronological today.
Nice.
Let's see how you spill that beer all over the place.
Like
it's the second one is always so much easier, but isn't it really hard, like scooching around the mic? Yeah. That's the hardest part of it because you can't get at the angle you need to be.
Well, also, as soon as I opened it,
it's full.
It was pulling in the top. They made sure you got all you could handle.
That's what, even when it's not quite as full as that one was that you poured, like mine wasn't quite that full, but still
it's just not a good pouring utensil.
Right. The very first couple things, it has to glug out. And because of that, it just makes a big mess or makes a lot of foam. And
what we should have done is just drank straight from the cans.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
But we had to give our YouTubers
a nice visual and a good laugh at our shenanigans.
Yeah.
And yeah, it helps us to get a visual with it. That's part of tasting. Sediment and whatnot. I know that's wine. Whatever.
I don't know.
All right, so I'm going to bring us a little closer in time. And I'm going to bring us to the 1964/65 area.
Okay.
I've got a couple of dates scattered throughout, and depending on where you look, you see a different date, but
Okay, yeah.
it's generally the same time. It's either 64 or 65.
You get that a lot in this research.
Yeah. And obviously, we are all about those cold, hard facts 100%. So,
Got to get it right.
yeah. So, I'm going to be looking at the history of the Charlotte Art League, which I'm trying to get ahead of myself. So, it was formed in 1964, 1965. And basically, their current vision is that they exist for the purpose of art, to create it, to teach it, foster it, promote it, advocate for it, and grow from it, thus enriching the community.
Okay.
It actually kind of made me think of you, especially because it is sort of it's in the South End area, which I realize not all of South End is technically like the Gold District, but my brain just kind of associates the two because it's still close enough proximity. So it kind of made me think of you and your Gatsby type of style of all these artists sort of just coming together. So the Charlotte Art League originally formed as a group of local artists who would meet in their homes or in local churches, and their whole purpose was to create and share artwork.
Okay.
So it was just like really at its most base level, the Charlotte Art League. It was, hey,
It's like the Justice League, but
yes,
for art.
Yes. It's like, hey, in 1960s, let me throw a post up on Facebook and say, hey, anybody who's an artist want to come hang out? Let's hang out.
Well, they'd probably go tell like the local barber beauty salon, like, hey, I'm doing this thing.
Yeah.
And then when people come, they gossip about it.
Yeah. But so they would meet in each other's homes. They would meet in some local churches. And so it was a very kind of grassroots thing, but it was just a good way for them to get connected and build their own community. I mean, everybody gets better by having more people around them who can build them up and actually see the world in a sort of similar light. So fast forward 30 years in this 1995/1996 area. I know.
Okay.
And so they finally were able to stop meeting in specific homes, and they got their own kind of permanent residence. And that permanent residence was more or less across the street from Wooden Robot in an old biscuit factory.
Okay.
Which currently is a building being torn down that had a fancy wall of art with a mural on it that at one point we were trying to get a piece of.
Oh, okay.
So ultimately is one of the Instagram accounts we follow is like Charlotte Mural Mondays. Is that what they are?
Maybe.
Something or other like that. And so there's this mural in South End, and I mean, 1.5 billion photos have been taken of it.
Yeah, it had like a Care Bear or something on it.
Yeah.
Like a Care Bear
Like a
looking
drugged
thing.
out looking Care Bear. And
I don't know about that, but it was
anyway,
Care Bearish.
it's that weird intersection very near Wooden Robot where it's like there's a triangle and it almost looks like a Y. No, there's like four roads that come into it, but it's not a perpendicular thing. And it's right next to the tracks, and it's got the mural on the one side, and then on the side facing the road, there's like these broken glass pieces, and then there's this other kind of secondary mural that's got like a green eye or something on it.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of different art things around this building, and apparently it was an old biscuit factory. But so at one point, one of the Instagram accounts we followed, they were talking about how the building was going to be torn down, but this was months ago. And it only is just now really actually in that process. And so they were like, get a piece of it while you can. And they went and chipped a corner of this wall out with that mural.
And it obviously wasn't just them. Like a whole corner was gone.
Yeah, there was a big thing chunked out. Yeah. And we were like, oh, we want some of this wall. Like just part of our history to go in our office and that kind of stuff. Like same with the Charlotte Mint coins. Like we just want to be able, our entire business is built on empowering Charlotte. And so we want to be able to also kind of catalog that history a little bit. And so we were really interested in this wall and kept kind of scoping it out. And we were like, well, we see the corners chipped off, but like there's sort of a construction fence here. We're not sure what's happening to
Yeah.
the wall yet. Like, are we going to be vandalizing? Do we need to bring a sledgehammer and just bash in this wall? And so we just felt very uneasy about the whole
And they
situation.
actually built like right up to it.
Yeah.
But never actually did it.
And then
later did.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was really
But
unfortunate.
at first it looked like they were going to stop right at it.
Right. And so I'm really actually super disappointed that we never got
yeah.
a piece of it. But if anybody out there has a piece, hit us up. But anyway, apparently it was a local biscuit factory. And so finally they purchased that place, and it was their like official sort of clubhouse. And so what had originally started as this sort of just, yeah, like a clubhouse. It was let's meet up and hang out and share stories and techniques and pieces and all that. It eventually was able to build a reputation as a fine arts gallery. Okay. And so they went a little more classy with it. And we're still kind of talking in this more traditional concept of art with like painting and maybe a little more sculpture art and stuff. But when you think of an art gallery, it was still very in that traditional sense at that point. Yeah, you
hold your pinky out while you drink things at this place, is what you're saying.
Sure. But over time, that eventually became more of a studio space, and in addition to a gallery. So it sort of built a reputation as a fine arts gallery. So they became a little more legitimate. And then it became more community focused, I guess, is a good way to think of it. That it went from just being kind of a fancy art gallery to then a studio space and a nonprofit.
Okay.
So they started increasing the variety of the art that they included to as many types as possible. So then it went from, painting and sculpture to including pottery, spoken word poetry, stage plays, multimedia, musicians, all kinds of different things. Basically any type of possible art you could get. Mm-hmm. Either they directly were involved with it, or as their nonprofit status started partnering with other local entities to bring in those various aspects that maybe they didn't specialize in.
Real quick, what's the thing where you snap instead of clap?
That's like spoken word poetry.
Okay.
It's like beat poetry or with the bongo. Poetry, slam poetry. There's a lot of different, and I'm sure to some extent there's probably actually like differences in what those are, but at our level of understanding, I mean,
people say things.
They're all the same thing.
You listen, you snap
to a beat, and it's like you got a bongo in the corner, and you're just like expressing poetry.
Yeah, I took it
verbally.
as like that was clapping.
Yeah,
the snaps were clapping. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that started their permanent residence in 95, 96. Mm-hmm. They were there for 20 plus years, and then last year, actually mid 2017, new property owners came in and bought out basically that whole strip that now we're starting to see be redone, and basically said, you've got 6 months, get out.
Okay.
And they were like,
okay.
Huh.
Okay.
And they were actually already in process of realizing like they were outgrowing their space. And so they were kind of already in process, but not, they were expecting maybe another 2 years to slowly figure out where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do. And then out of nowhere, it was just, you've got 6 months. And they were like,
Yeah.
But fortunately, they had at least started that process. So they had some semblance of like...
They just need a little push to take that leap.
Sure. So in early 2018, they officially moved to Noda/North End in this kind of in-between area, right on the cusp of either. And now their current space offers working studios, classes, community outreach programs, and a public gallery. And they have it's a nonprofit. It's solely based on community fundraising, involvement, memberships. Memberships are from local artists so that they can use studios. It's also kind of just donations and all kinds of things, and they have a huge impact on the local art community. And then some of the current classes that they have include things like paper portraits, intuitive painting, and art journaling. branding sessions, collage, silk printing, photography, and mixed media. And again, they're still partnering with all these kind of nonprofits. And so there was one article I read that was about like digital media and kind of graphic design and the more like not technical, but like techie type of art. And how that's maybe not their specialty, but they were partnering with these other outreach programs and finding ways to get people involved that way.
Cool.
And something that I thought was actually pretty cool, as I was looking through on their website, they list different places that they'll exhibit their art throughout the city. Obviously, a lot of that is in South End because that's where they had spent the majority of their time.
They have partnerships there, I'm sure.
And based on its location, obviously, one of those exhibitions is in Wooden Robot, which is where we were today.
They do have
and we
art
were
in
looking
there.
at art, and we had pointed some of those out
Jon
today.
Snow.
They sure did have Jon Snow in there.
He was in there.
And I just thought that was really cool.
And
It came full circle for me.
that is one. Well, a few of the breweries have artwork up that do catch your eye.
Yeah.
But I do remember last time I was at Wooden Robot, I was checking them all out.
Yeah, absolutely. Wooden
A lot
Robot
of, like,
is
portraits. It seemed like.
Wooden Robot definitely feels sort of like an art gallery type of exhibition of it. I feel like.
Well, plus it they funnel you through this hallway.
Yeah.
To get from one side to the other, and there's artwork all down one side.
Yeah.
So you look at it. So.
But I just thought that was really cool. I was like, oh, we had literally earlier today pointed out some of that artwork and kind of chit-chatted about it. And I was like, we just came full circle. But I guess, I don't know that I have some big closing aspect to this story. I just thought it was, again, I like to tie it back to things that we kind of do, and not that we do specifically art, but, taking something that is people who like to create and design and just look at the world a little differently and looking to come together, and then finding their place and finding new places and growing and reaching. And I just feel like that's also kind of a space that we're in our own little facet. And it just came full circle that we literally got to look at some of their art today.
Need to keep them in mind for our event that we want to do.
Oh, I've got a whole page of notes about things that I've thought through as I was reading through this.
Stay tuned for that. It may be 3, 4, 5 years from now. Who knows? But
hopefully not that long.
We got something we want to do. So.
We got plans.
Cool.
But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. Go check them out. They are, again, on the kind of cusp of North End and Noda. It is the Charlotte Art League.
We'll link.
Yep, they've got a website. Go check it out. If you want to just donate to help their cause, if you want to go, they used to be part of the South End Gallery Crawl, which is one of those things. Is a lot of the articles I read were about them being sort of kicked out was less of an issue for themselves and more an issue for the community. So I don't know how they'll field that exactly or how they have fielded that, but it's seems like a cool place. They've got open galleries. Go check them out. Donate. Maybe become a member. Just help get involved. Bring some beauty into the world.
Word.
So with that, we're going to now turn to the final pour of the Buzz Bracket. It seems like we've been in this forever, but man, it went quick.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so before we actually start breaking this down,
You gonna explain?
No, I need more beer in my glass.
Oh, I thought you were gonna explain why we did Wooden Robot this time, but I guess you can.
We'll get there. Well, I guess if you want to start off with that, that's fine. Is your crowler empty?
No, there's a little bit left.
Okay, just wondering.
I guess I could. Do you want me to fill mine up?
No, mine's not either. I just was wondering when I poured mine, I still had a little left, so I was just wondering if you did also. If I had done a poor job of pouring it, and if I happen to have more.
Well, I also spilled some of mine on the table.
You're not wrong.
So theoretically, you may get more beer than.
No, but yours was more full. So you probably evened it out.
Okay.
Either way.
Well, no, I've already poured it a second time. That's my third time pouring beer.
Right.
I don't know. I'm confused.
You poured this here on the table, but your crowler was more full. When you opened it, it was full.
Okay.
So this on the table probably evens the crowlers in fullness. So while mine still has some in it, overall it'll probably be the same amount.
Gotcha.
Does ya?
Do you have to? You ain't gotta explain it like I'm stupid.
Stupid is as stupid does, man.
So you want me to go, or are you gonna go?
All right, so we had hit the Elite 8.
Yes.
And boy, howdy, was it a doozy. Yes, that was a Hey Arnold reference. Boy, howdy. Talk about it.
I won't, because I don't know what it is.
Hey Arnold all day, man.
It is, but
Sid, man. He's a character. He said boy, howdy all the time. There's certain things I'm a little obsessed with in my life, guys. If you haven't already learned it, you will. So we had gotten to the Elite 8.
Yep.
It got interesting.
That it did.
So let's talk about this first matchup.
So 1 seed Noda. 5 seed Wooden Robot.
And Noda had been consistently our highest or very near highest receiver of votes.
Straight crushing it.
Yes. But dang, they went down.
Wooden Robot.
I did not expect this to be the match to watch this time.
Taking out the big dogs.
I mean, it was pretty close. They were within 30 votes. But, oh man, it was so much closer than I ever expected that to be. And, every single day as the votes came rolling in, I was like, oh man. I don't even know. Do you have any thoughts on this? Because that was crazy to watch. I did not expect this one to be what it was.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, yeah, I pretty much knew how the other ones were going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I knew how all of them were going to go.
Right. This one took me.
Yeah, this one I got wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that may shake up the brackets.
It is. But yeah, so that is in fact why we are drinking from them today.
Yeah, because we were surprised, so we want to see
They needed
what the
to be
fuss was
they
about.
needed to be honored because they took out a big dog there.
So
Slam poetry snaps.
way to go, Wooden Robot.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
All right, so next up we had Resident Culture at number 3 seed versus Lenny Boy at number 2 seed.
And I think the way that we thought Noda would win, we thought Resident was going to win this one, and we weren't wrong.
Yeah.
So
this one was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
We have not entered the Twilight Zone. Everything is as expected for second. So third matchup was number 1 seed again, Birdsong, versus again number 5 seed Legion.
Yeah, so their solar panels could not light the way
Oh dear God.
to the final
I need more
pour,
beer.
and Legion pulled this one out.
Which, yes, in theory is as big of an upset as the Wooden Robot over Noda because it's a 5-1. However, like we said, Legion has been our number 1 advocate and promoter and activator of hordes.
Though maybe not this round. I think Heist shared it more than
Maybe. I think
Legion did this round.
think you're right. But overall, Legion has been consistent.
Yeah, they got
and
people involved
solid.
early.
Yeah.
So
Early and often. They did very well with it.
yeah.
And so they did overtake Birdsong, and
Not surprising.
not to our
us,
surprise. Yeah. Still a big upset, but not to our surprise.
Number
The
6
final
seed,
matchup.
Yeah, the last matchup. Number 6 seed Sycamore, number 2 seed Heist. Now, I thought this one would be closer.
I agree. I thought it would be closer also. But Heist managed to pull it out with the highest votes of the weekend
Yep. 578.
to 306.
So, yeah, I mean, I like Heist.
For multiple reasons.
Yes.
Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles. And their pretzels and beer cheese are my favorite.
They
Pretzels
do
and beer
a good
cheese.
bit of hazy IPAs that I am a fan of.
My number 2 beer that we've tried on the podcast so far. So I was a very, keen advocate for Heist. That
I mean, yeah, I was pulling for Heist in this one too. So it's not unexpected. But yeah, I don't think I expected quite that margin either. I thought that would be more of the matchup to watch than Noda and Wooden Robot for sure.
I think we actually did say that.
Yeah.
I think we said Sycamore Heist would be
the one to watch. And we was wrong.
Yeah.
I think also the interesting thing is Heist and Sycamore was the only non-upset in the rankings.
Yeah.
Legion was an upset over Birdsong. Resident was an upset over Lenny Boy. And Wooden Robot was an upset over Noda.
Yeah, so that whole, round 1, there was all the top seeds won.
Round two, most of them won.
Most of them won. There were what, like 2?
Yeah, something minor.
2
I mean,
maybe?
we had Resident beat out Old Mech. That was an upset. And then I think it was Sycamore was an upset.
Yeah.
And I think that was it.
Yeah.
And then here we are with every single one being an upset except for one.
Huh.
So, I mean, yeah, it was very interesting because, the ones that we thought we were going to be watching pretty closely were not. And the ones that we expected to just be blown out the water were, wow.
Yeah, so no number 1 seeds left.
No. But 2 number 5 seeds.
Yeah. Hey.
That's the game.
Get it.
Yeah, I mean, rock on. Activate your hordes, people. So, we have now made it to the final pour.
Yeah.
So, first up,
number 5 seed Wooden Robot versus the 3 seed Resident Culture.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to think about this one anymore.
I think Wooden Robot surprised us.
But will they do it again?
But don't let that sway you from the wave that is Resident Culture right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you ride that thing all the way to the show. I think I got a feeling that there's not going to be an upset in this one.
I almost would. I don't know if I can say that. I was going to say I almost wish that was the final one, but I think, I'm just being too much hyped on Wooden Robot after the last round.
Yeah.
I still like Resident Culture for it. They have just been so consistent the whole way through. But I'm very impressed with Wooden Robot's performance up until this point. Like, very impressed.
People like them.
I expect to see a very good showing out of them for sure. I expect this to be a lot closer than I would have first guessed it to be.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. So I think Resident Culture will do it, but it should be close. I mean, if they should all be close from here on out. But we thought that last time, and most of them were not. There was only one close matchup. So
what do we know?
Yeah. What do we know?
Nothing. Whole lot of nothing.
Um.
So then our other matchup is number 5 Legion and number 2 Heist.
The battle of the promoters.
True. We've got like the battle of the surprising cult followings and the battle of the people activating their hordes.
Yeah.
I'm actually really interested in both of these matchups.
Yeah.
Like, very interested.
Yeah, I don't
because
know.
I really like Heist and I think they would do well, but also like gotta give Legion the love because early and often, and they have been the biggest supporter of this bracket.
Yeah, Legion's had people invested since the beginning.
Yeah.
Heist, they hit it early as well, just not as often.
Yeah.
I don't think until recently.
Right.
And
they've picked it up, and that might be the change.
We were posting these votes at 12 to 12:10, and they were sharing it from 12:05 to 12:30.
Yeah.
Like they was on it. They got that notification and they were repost mentioned.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't even get through the rest of the posts, and
they've already done it. Yeah. So, will that help?
That is a really tough one to call.
You know, I do appreciate Legion.
I think Heist might pull it out also.
But I also appreciate Chicken and Waffles and Stratisfaction and Beer Cheese.
I have a new sense of loyalty for Legion for sure out of this, and I would love to see them win.
Hey, Legion ain't no slouch in the beer cheese, pretzels and beer cheese category either.
They are not.
They also have good pretzels and beer cheese.
It is true. Yeah, I mean, I really would love to see Legion win it because they have been such a supporter of the whole thing. I mean, Heist has a really good following. They've got a lot of people behind them. They've got their 2 locations. So does Legion have 2 new locations? Dang, this keeps getting harder every time I think I've made up my mind.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, they are literally both going to be matches to watch.
I think
I might. Yeah. I feel like Heist has an advantage. I can't articulate what that advantage is, but I feel like they have one, aside from just general ranking. But clearly, we've seen
that means they have more followers.
Yeah,
so
but
if they get their people voting,
sure.
If everybody voted for each that they told to vote for them, then Heist would win.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's how the numbers
work. What?
Yep. I know. Breaking news.
I mean, yeah, so I think I very, very minimally give this one to Heist, but I think both matchups are going to be...
We can't lose either way.
Yeah.
We can't lose. I'm happy with both. Well, I'm happy with any of them.
I really am.
In the first 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
Wooden Robot has definitely swung me more to their side. I wouldn't quite call me like jumping on a bandwagon, but I'm definitely more open to them for sure. So,
especially after taking down Noda.
I am so impressed. I'm still a little bit shocked by that. Dang.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I'd love to see what y'all think and predict and all of that. So, send us some comments on YouTube, on Instagram. Tell us what you think. Tweet at us. So I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. Voting's going to go a little bit differently this time, though.
That was where I was going.
Yeah, I figured you're in the beer. Your notebook's in the beer.
Yeah, the beer is everywhere. Okay. Maybe don't spill it all over the table next time.
I'll try. I'll just let
Told you,
pour
it's
it
not
next
as
time.
easy as it looks, isn't it? So, with the Final Four, we had originally had a thought about how it would go. But here's what it's going to look like. It's different, so be prepared. As of listening to this podcast, voting has been open since midnight.
Yeah.
You have all day Thursday today. You have all day Friday tomorrow to vote for these 2 matchups that we just talked about.
Yeah.
That is it. You have had 5 days in the past.
For a full round, yeah.
Yes. But this round you will have today and tomorrow, and that is it. You will have it here on Instagram, and you will have it on Twitter, at Van Gogh Creative, VANGO Creative.
Linked in the description, guys.
Bam. Get over there, follow, like, comment, subscribe, vote.
All that
vote,
jazz.
vote.
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow only.
For the Final Pour.
Then we'll tally the votes very quickly, and within that first couple of minutes, we will, spin it around as best we can. So by 1 a.m. at the latest, because we got to get graphics together for y'all too.
We'll
be ready for you.
Yeah, we'll just make.
We'll make them all.
Yeah, we'll make it all.
Make it like the Super Bowl. We'll just have everything ready to throw at it, whoever wins.
And we'll send the graphics to like Africa or wherever they send the T-shirts of the wrong teams. We'll
Yes.
send the graphics to the dark web.
Yes.
If,
Let them use it for whatever they
if
need.
they need it for some reason.
For the kids. It's for the kids, people. So we'll have all that ready. We'll turn it around. And then Saturday and Sunday and Monday until noon,
Yes.
you will have the opportunity to vote for the final matchup for who will win.
Yeah, the reason we're doing this is because we want to be able to announce the winner.
Monday evening.
Yeah, during the championship game of the
March Madness
bracket.
So we're keeping in line with their timeline. We're going live when they go live. So you've got 2 days for the final pour, and then two and a half days for the final matchup.
Yep.
So make sure...
So 3 votes, though. It's still 3 votes.
Yes. We will basically put that third vote up where you've got midnight to midnight for Sunday, and then you've got noon on Sunday through noon on Monday for that final vote. So you'll still have the opportunity to vote 3 times, plus the additional time on Twitter. But get out there and keep coming back to make sure you get your votes in, because it's going to go so quick, and all of a sudden Monday's going to come, and we're going to have a Best Brewery of Charlotte 2019.
Yeah.
And the brag will be over.
Yeah.
And as quick as it came, it's gone.
Yeah.
So make sure you're there. Make sure you're voting. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We will announce Monday evening the brewery that has won. Mm-hmm. And if we have only one bracket winner, we will announce them Monday night.
Yeah.
If not,
like the people who filled out the brackets.
Yes.
Winner. Yeah. Kind of hard to explain. That would.
If you filled out a bracket, you know.
Yeah.
If you didn't, do it next year, because
Yeah.
there's 2 nights of fun on the line. But
yeah.
If there's only one winner that takes the lead, we will announce them on Monday night as well. If not, we will go into tiebreaker mode, where we will reach out to all of the people who have tied, set up the tiebreaker, and we will make the announcement as soon as possible once we correlate schedules and get ties broken.
Yeah, it could be from rock, paper, scissors, beer chugging, best cartwheel.
Ooh, I was going to say we should set up a beer pong tournament.
Yeah, we'll get hula hoops. See who, last one to drop.
Spinny bat.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. It depends on how many people end up tying and how creative we are in that moment, and how many people we can get to come out under our time limits.
True.
So stay tuned for that. It's sure to be interesting. I almost hope we have a tie, just for the chaos of the breaker.
I don't want one. I don't want to deal with it.
I mean,
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Make sure you're getting your votes in this weekend. Just follow us for other random fun stuff. March Madness bracket is about to be over, but there's plenty of fun stuff that's going to come throughout the next year. And you'll want to be prepared as we gear up for a completely re-envisioned bracket next year. So make sure you're following us and just kind of keeping tabs on what's going on. And we're going to start doing some more stuff around the city that you'll want to be involved in.
Yes.
Check us out on YouTube. See the videos and watch us pour beer all over our table.
Yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe, because that helps us out.
Yeah, and then someday we'll be able to afford better equipment so that the awesome graphics that Drew puts up on our YouTube videos for March Madness matches the decency of our video footage, which right now is just lacking. So support us in any way, shape, or form. And it's as simple as a click for a like.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Yes. But until then, get your votes in, and we will talk to y'all next week. But make sure you're following us to find out who's winning.
Check you later.
Bye.